In the heart of Texas, silence can mean survival. Behind these cold walls, every word can cost a life. But sometimes, one man's silence can save another's. This is not just a story. It's a moment of fear, courage, and unexpected humanity. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, so you never miss what lies beyond words. The Whisper, a Texas inmate who broke every rule to save a life. Intro, hook. They say in prison, silence keeps you alive. You don't talk. You don't look too long. You don't ask questions. But sometimes, silence can kill. And one man in a Texas state prison learned that the hard way. The night he heard a cry that would change everything. Setting the scene. It was past midnight in a correctional facility just outside of Huntsville, Texas. The halls were quiet, except for the hum of the old fluorescent lights and the steady rhythm of footsteps echoing from the night patrol. Inside cell block D, Marcus Reed lay on his bunk, staring at the ceiling. He had been locked up for almost 8 years for armed robbery. He wasn't a bad man anymore. At least he didn't think so. He'd done his time, kept his head down, avoided fights, and learned one rule above all: don't talk. That night, the air felt heavier than usual. Something about the silence was wrong. Too deep, too thick. Even the usual distant murmurs had disappeared. The first sound. Then he heard it. A faint sound. Not the usual clang of metal or the shuffle of chains, but something softer. A voice. It came from down the corridor, the section near the utility rooms, where staff sometimes stored cleaning supplies. It was a woman's voice, weak, strained, like someone calling for help through the walls. Marcus froze. He thought he was imagining it. But then it came again. A faint gasp. "Help! Please!" He sat up, heart pounding. He looked toward the bars. No guards in sight. Every instinct told him to stay out of it. In prison, you don't involve yourself in anything. You mind your own business, even if someone's dying on the other side of the wall. But something in that voice, fear, desperation, cut straight through him. The decision. Marcus got off his bunk and pressed his ear against the bars. He heard coughing now, a struggle, something falling, and then silence again. He called out quietly, "Hello? You okay?" No answer. He waited. A minute, maybe 2. Then a door slammed somewhere far away. He knew that section shouldn't have anyone inside at this hour, except maybe Officer Daniels or the new recruit, Officer Harper. She'd only been on the job for a month. Kind eyes. Young. Too kind for this place. Marcus remembered how she once slipped him an extra cup of coffee when she thought nobody was watching. And now, something deep in his gut told him it was her. The escape from the cell. He knew he couldn't just walk out, but there was a maintenance vent near the end of his row, something the inmates joked about but never used. When the guards did their routine rounds, they rarely checked that section carefully. Marcus timed it perfectly, waited until the cameras turned, until the guard at the end lit a cigarette. Then, with trembling hands, he pried open the old vent grate using a piece of metal he'd hidden months ago. He crawled through, the narrow space scraping his shoulders and arms. It felt endless, suffocating. But then he heard the cough again, louder this time, mixed with panic and gasps. The discovery. Marcus dropped out of the vent into a dimly lit storage corridor. Smoke filled the air, gray, choking. The fluorescent lights flickered. He turned the corner, and there she was, Officer Harper, trapped behind a jammed metal door. Her uniform was covered in dust and soot, her eyes wide with fear. The fire alarm had failed to go off. A small electrical fire from a cleaning machine was spreading fast. "Marcus!" she coughed. "What are you? You can't be here!" But he didn't listen. He grabbed a loose pipe and started slamming it against the door latch, once, twice. She screamed as sparks flew. The metal finally gave way and the door burst open. He pulled her out, both of them coughing, gasping for air as the hallway filled with black smoke. The escape to safety. They stumbled down the corridor toward the exit, visibility dropping to inches. Marcus kept one arm around her, guiding her forward. At one point she fell, her ankle twisted. He lifted her up, half carrying her toward the emergency stairs. Behind them, flames started crawling along the ceiling. The sprinklers sputtered but didn't work. He slammed his shoulder against the final door. It burst open, leading them into the cold night. Pavement outside, both coughing uncontrollably. The night guard spotted them moments later, sprinting over with a fire extinguisher. Marcus lay there, chest heaving, watching the smoke pour out of the building. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a prisoner. He felt human. The aftermath. When the fire department arrived, the warden was furious, demanding answers. How the hell did an inmate get out of his cell during a lockdown? But when Officer Harper spoke up, voice shaking, eyes filled with tears, everything changed. "He saved my life," she said. "If it weren't for him, I'd be dead." The room went silent. For the first time in a long time, Marcus Reed didn't feel invisible. The next morning, the story spread through the facility like wildfire. Some inmates mocked him. Some called him stupid. But others, the ones who'd seen too much darkness, nodded with quiet respect. A few weeks later, a letter arrived from the Department of Corrections. His sentence was reviewed. 2 years were taken off for extraordinary conduct. Closing at moral. Marcus never saw Officer Harper again after his release. But sometimes, late at night, he thought about that moment. The cry in the dark, the smoke, the fear. He realized something that day. In a place built to erase humanity, one act of compassion can bring it back. And sometimes, even behind bars, you can find freedom, not in walls or time, but in what you choose to do when no one's watching. Because silence keeps you alive, but courage makes you human.